shove him out of the way? Yes, he will. Drama. Through the final turn, it is going to come down to Calamity Corner as they bang off on one another. Who's got it at the end? Victory. Heartbreak. The road to becoming a champion is not easy. Many can dream, but only one can succeed. The time is now for someone to rise above and claim the title. The 2024 National Series is coming.
It's a new season, and you know just what that means, folks. New names, new championship, new thrills, but the same action and battles we've come to expect. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Podium Esports for round one of the iRacing Short Course National Series. My name is DJ Clark, and joining me in the booth is the voice of off-road, Dave Arnold. Behind the scenes is our director, Ryan Bauer. And Dave, let's get right into the action here today. We are at Wild West Motorsport Park, one of the best tracks to be able to start the season for trucks such as this. It is one that always produces some pretty darn good action.
Oh, you're definitely going to see high speeds up there. There's a lot of elevation changes. That's one of the things I love about going up to Reno, Wild West Motorsports Park. And I'll tell you, there's not a lot of turns, but those turns get tricky. And everybody's going to have to keep that eye on that 180 on that right-hander when they come off the big leap. And it's tell you, we see speeds up to 100 miles an hour coming off the turnstile, down the hill into turn number one. Who's going to outbrake who is going to be the big question, I think, tonight.
Yeah, I very much think it is. Let's take a look at our schedule here, and this, of course, brought to us by the fact that iRacing has continued to add more and more tracks to this. We head to Crandon, the full layout next, well, I would say next week, but it's actually in 2 days. Bark River, Wild Horse Pass, back to Crandon for the short layout, and then recycle it back again. And for a lot of these drivers, Dave, I mean, we don't have the full breadth of schedule to be able to run a new track in every one, but what does it feel like coming back to some of these tracks on the second run around? Does that add a little bit more to them and make things a little bit easier, or does it mean that, well, everybody's learning the track again, so it's a little bit harder?
Well, I really think some of the guys that have had experience on it are going to definitely shine, but the guys that haven't, the new drivers that come into it, they're going to get a second chance to come out. It's one thing to go out and practice on these tracks, but to actually get out there in race conditions, that's where it's going to change everything.
Yeah, it certainly is. As we take a look of that view from above, coming down here on Wild West Motorsport Park, taking a look at this 1.5 mile, as you said, only 4 corners around this circuit. It's not exactly the most complex layout when you look at it from above, but when you run it, that's a whole different issue.
Oh yeah, there's lots of undulations, little fingers that stick out, and little things you have to watch. You think it's not a smooth ride around the track. There's little bumps, there's little humps, and there's little undulations that will unsettle these trucks quite a bit.
Yeah, and that's really going to throw them for a loop. You're really going to have to be up on the wheel, making sure everything is together. And, of course, you want to start off strong because you want to try to beat the double champion, Connor Berry, the one out there that everybody's going to have their eyes on. Now, let's run through the race format here tonight. Qualifying is going to be 4 laps in a lone qualifying session for about 10 minutes. Then we'll have 4 heat races. Those will be 6 laps apiece. The top 3 will advance on from that. Then 3 LCQs that are 4 laps apiece, the top 2 advance, and then the main event, 18 trucks on the track, 22 laps, competition caution on the end of lap 9. And Dave, I don't need to tell you, but for all of these drivers, you want to be in that top 3 coming out of the heats. You do not want to have to fight your way through the LCQs because elbows get out at that point.
Oh, yeah, it gets really busy. That's one thing for sure. And I'll tell you, that first turn is going to settle out a lot of these guys. You got to be up in those top 5 positions, I think, to be in within the running to even get into a top 3 to qualify.
Yeah, very, very much so. As you said, so many drivers going to be really chucking it down into that left-hander, but we ride on board right now with Connor Berry, your 2-time reigning champion, attempting to go for the three-peat. Only driver in iRacing short course history to be able to do that is Mason Prater, who also went back-to-back-to-back. So he's going to be one to watch. That's what Connor's aiming for, and the weight of expectations squarely on his shoulder here at this point.
Oh, yeah, and Mason Prater is out here, too. I saw him earlier doing a little qualifying. And also another driver, good to see him back, Luke Knupp. He was a force to be reckoned with, the little issues. He's back after a 2-year hiatus, and good to see. But, boy, I'm looking at this list right now. You know, you got some real-life drivers that, you know, excel well in this, and some other drivers that are just right there, just waiting for that breakaway for them.
Yeah, and I think one of those drivers to certainly be able to look at here is Joe Blewett, one that we definitely want to be able to keep an eye on here. Jacob Refos, another one to keep an eye on as well. But for a few of them here at this point, Joe Blewett, a rookie here this time around, threat for the wins, a threat for the championship, trying to become the first driver in history to win on debut. For Jacob here at this point, though, you can see that focus in that is required to go around here, doing a little bit of the iRacers lean as he comes through the corners, but just keeping everything together. And look at how early he is sighting into those corners, just showing you the concentration that it takes to be able to drive one of these trucks to perfection.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Qualifying's one, racing's another, and these heat races, they're going to get busy. You're going to have 4 or 5 trucks trying to get and thread that eye of the needle through turn number 1. And then when you get into turn number 2, and it's that hard hairpin, boy, they really pack up there, and they'll see a lot of guys riding up on the rail.
Yeah, here's Luke Knupp. You were talking about him a little bit early. It looked like he was just kind of squaring everything up, coming through that final corner, getting ready for a good run. Big air there coming up and over into turn 1. And those bumps, a little bit bruising on the cars, obviously, on the trucks, obviously, as they come up and around here. And those elevation changes that you talk about, particularly there, that's the one that I'm watching out for. Coming into turn 2, that little bump that just unsettles the trucks a little bit and gets yourself there. What can you do to kind of counteract that? Because obviously, you can't really set up for a corner when you're flying through the air.
Well, no, but you actually can a little bit. These cars will articulate pretty well in the air, and you want to like almost get sideways coming in there. You'll see the guys pop it up in the air, get the truck a little sideways, and go. It's just a little flick, kind of like you would, you know, like a little Scandinavian flick. You get the truck to go one way and back and forth. You could fly these things.
Well, let's hope that we see some good flying action, but within the confines here tonight. We don't want to see anybody flying off the track, as it looks like there that qualifying will be coming to an end as we take a look at the beautiful vistas here outside of Reno, Nevada. As you said, just a perfect model here that iRacing has been able to develop and put onto the service here to be able to get this to run. We'll be able to bring you those qualifying results here in just a few moments' time here as they go. But outside of those sort of danger areas here and some of the drivers that we looked at earlier, Dave, anybody else you got your eye on?
Well, Nicholas Dachelet for sure. He's always a force to be reckoned with. You know, you can see he qualified 4th there. Miller, let's see, Trenton Briley, Chris Plumley in the top 10 there. It's good to see. Kind of surprised that Prater qualified so low. He's struggled the last couple of years. And, of course, Parker Ratzliff, fresh off racing a little NASCAR there. Mikulajic, he's been thrown around. Saw him in fighting the top. And a guy who's been there so many times, so close at other races, is Drapkin. Can't wait to see what Drapkin does this season.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. As you see there up at the top, Joel Blewett is going to be your leading qualifier here at this point. The rookie able to put down a darn good time. That is a force to be reckoned with, and certainly something to keep an eye on here at this point. With him putting that down, we look down through the back part of the order right now. Wet and Crosby rounding out your 32 car or 32 truck field here at this point. I love seeing that. I love seeing this many drivers coming out to try their way around here. Makes our job a lot easier. I've called a couple of dirt races when it's 5, 6, 6, 7 drivers, and it's not exactly fun. But you get full 32 truck field, this is what it's all about.
Oh, yeah, we're going to whittle them all the way down. Top 3 qualify. Of course, we talked about that a little earlier in the program, and, we're going to have LCQs, and, they're going to fight their way to the main event. It's going to be exciting. One name that I was actually kind of looking for is Keaton Swain, not seeing him in the qualifying. I don't know if I just missed him or he's just not here yet.
All right, well, that's going to lead us right on into our first of 4 heat races for the night. And in pole position here, it will be Luke Knupp, followed by Joel Blewett, 1 and 2 in row 1. Row 2 will be Thad Countryman and Crystal King in P4. As we move back into row 3, it's Tyler Shattuck and Darren Sainz. And then to round out your 8 truck grid, it's Dennis Mickelson and Cody Giles there in the number 4 truck. So they're going to lead their way around here. Start procedures tonight. We do have that start zone that is going to be before the little bump that we talked about earlier. That's going to lead everything on through. And then no passing until you pass over the official start line. Drivers are going to have to watch out for that. It's very tempting to try to get on the throttle and get that move done a little bit early.
Yeah, that's a critical area, too. There's a lot of games could be played with the pole position guy. He's the one that's going to be setting that pace through there. And I expect a little game playing to be going on there. See who's going to play by the rules.
Yeah, we'll have to see Luke Knupp here at this point up in front. Going to be feeling pretty good about that position. As you said, the big Constantina effect that will come down into turn 1. Drivers are really going to have to watch out for that. And I've got to be a little bit scared if I'm a few of these drivers up in the front of the field about a little bit of how you're doing coming from behind as drivers, well, as you said here, Dave, really try to chuck those trucks down into the corner and try to gain some positions in that first lap.
Yeah, well, not to pull out a football reference, but we call it in off-road too. You got punted.
Well, we don't want to see any punting. Much like in football, we don't want to see punting.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, the guys are going to come up. It's always a problem going in. You got your line set, and all of a sudden, some comes a little hot, got a little late on the binders coming into the turn, push you right out through up into a wall or flip you over. And that's what a lot of these, at this level though, we're seeing that getting better and better. Now you have to kind of race through the regional series to get up into the pro series here.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that this series really has done a fantastic job of doing, is really and truly getting that feeder series to build their way up and on through. And once again, credit to iRacing for building that to be able to come from the pro lights up into the pro 2s, the pro 4s, build their way up through the scale so you're able to get that all the way up and through. Getting the signal from race control here, we should be ready to go. Engines ready to start. 6 laps on the clock. Here we go as they get ready to get on moving here at this point. And there goes the iRacing pace truck heading off, and we're about ready to get a little bit of short course action coming at you.
Yeah, we're going to get a little parade lap, it says. I don't know if he's going to pull off right away or they're going to bring it around. Usually pull right off after the start finish.
All right, so it is going to be a short parade lap here at this point, so that means we can get right into the racing action. There goes the hop, skip, and a jump for that pace truck, putting on a great amount of speed. And the green flag flies. We are racing here at Wild West Motorsport Park. It's going to be a good lead out in front as they try to go on through. All fears of a coming together down into turn 1 look like they have come to naught. Your pole sitter here, Knupp, leading out into the front of the field. Everyone trying to chase him down. So it looks like here at this point, that's going to be Blewett holding into P2. Countryman doing a good job, but in a battle right now with Sainz and King. King able to get a little bit of a run there as they come down through the corners, working their way now down into this last corner on the track before they dip down onto, let's call it, the main straightaway. Blewett holding into that second place very well, but that final transfer spot, Dave, that looks like it is hotly contested. All right, here as they go, they continue to roll. Little bit of argy-bargy coming down through the corner here at this point as they try to be able to get as much as they can going down into turn number 3 here at this point. Now it looks like Blewett's under a little bit of fire here as they're going to continue to go. Sainz has been able to hold on into P3, leading his way around. King, Countryman, Mickelson, and Shattuck looking like they're duking it out here a little bit. Darren Sainz started off in P6, able to run his way up into number 3 here at this point. That's that final transfer position. That is mega. All right, here at this point, they're going to continue to roll their way on through the corners, and we are over the halfway point as we get their way back around here as they go, trying to lead as much as they can. We take a look out the back of Luke Knupp's car right now as he comes down into turn number 3. Blewett trying to put a little bit of a run there on him at this point. He is going to see if he can maybe claim into that top position. Remember, the top 3 are the ones to advance here at this point. But it is a big breakaway between the top 2. Knupp and Blewett starting to build about a 1.2 second advantage on the rest of the field. Sainz closing in behind, and it really looks like Blewett at this point is chucking it down through the corners. Let's take a look though at Crystal King. This is the driver trying to close on in for that final transfer spot, trying to close down on Sainz. All right. Oh, big coming together. That was Countryman setting a big move down to the inside, trying to see if there was something to go there at that point. And that's going to lead to a little bit of contact between Countryman and King as they run, trying to see if they can get anything to play here at this point. Side-by-side battle. This is for 4th place, and King able to hold off here for the moment as they keep it in. We ride on Dennis Mickelson trying to pick up the pieces of the battle in front.
Well, I got you back now, and it looks like it's a good run there. Knupp, though, still out front in the lead, though. Blewett, though, I'm so impressed as he holds off Sainz and King right now. He's got a lot of company back there.
Yeah, got a lot of company back there, but it looks like the front 2 are the absolute taste of the field here. Sainz being able to hold on to that 3rd place position to get a good run up through the field. Not the best qualifying, but the scraps certainly on here. Again, 4P4. King and Mickelson really at each other's throats. And let's remember, Mickelson and King throwing some big moves down into turn 1 a little bit earlier on. That could bring up the blood a little bit. I think I just saw Countryman and Shattuck trying to go side by side, and indeed that's exactly what's going to be happening here at this point. This now the battle for 6th place position as they come through the final corner right now.
And literally running side by side up the hill as they go off that little hump where it goes into the left-hander there. Knupp, he's, got the white flag coming out right now. Blew it right on his tail. Sainz caught up by himself, but you can see Crystal King starting to creep up on him. With 1 lap to go, they're going to really throw it into these turns. They're going to try and make some moves now.
Yeah, we're going to have to see Blewett able to get that gap down to about 0.8 of a second. And again, really chucking that number 74 truck down into turn 3, trying to push as much as possible. We take a look out the back of the number 5 of Luke Knupp, trying to see if they are going to be able to hold off the attack of Blewett. Right now, I think it's relatively safe, but as we know, just one little error here can lead to absolute calamity. Knupp brings it down through the final corner right now, able to drive it off the line. Luke Knupp coming across the line right now will filter his way out, and Luke Knupp back in form here to take victory in heat number 1. Blewett P2, Sainz your last driver to automatically advance.
Yeah, what a great race that turned out to be there. Knupp, what did I say, man? You got to be up front. It's got to qualify good. You got to get out there and do well and be in the top 5 going through turn number 1. That's the key.
Yeah, that's the key, and that's exactly what they were able to do. As it was Knupp, Blewett, and Sainz advancing on. King, Mickelson, Countryman, Shattuck, and Giles going to be the drivers that are farther back in the order. They're going to have to go to those LCQs, and as we said, that's where that temperature is going to start to rise for these drivers. That's where things are going to get a little bit more difficult for them. But we are getting gridded up right now for heat race number 2. That's just how quickly they come at you, folks, as it's going to be Tyson Miller up in front in P1 with Jacob Raffis in P2. P2. Moving back into row 2, it's Christopher Plumlee, followed by Paul Mikolajewski there in P4. Sean Winkler will be P5, followed by Matthew Lind. As we roll back through here, Chris Kirkshire and then Patrick Solari will be P8, and that will be the rest of the field here at this point. iRacing pace truck scampering off into the distance right now, as there we've got the green once again. Here comes the run. Trucks jumping over the bends here as they dive down into turn 1. Little bit of close quarters racing, as there's a little bit of how you doing. Not the big coming together that we thought we were going to have, but certainly a little bit closer than we saw in heat race number 1.
And I'll tell you, in LCQs, you're going to see a little bit more beating and banging going on there, rather clean going around. I was rather pleased to see Plumlee slid right up there, no contact whatsoever. But Rafis and then Miller and the 90 out front with a good lead as they start to single file out the top 3. You can see 4th there, Mikolajic and Winkler trying to battle back there for 4th.
All right, Mikolajic trying to hold on. Oh, big coming together there farther back in the field. I think that was Solari, Lind, and Mikolajic all coming into one another there at that point. Winkler going to be able to avoid the worst of it. Meanwhile, back up front, big move down to the inside. Plumlee bumping and banging and bumping, trying to go down into turn 1, and that is going to muscle the number 36 truck into P2.
Yeah, Plumlee with a nice move there, trying to stay in that preferred line there. But look at this. Rafis jumps right underneath him, takes it right away. Plumlee tucks it right behind him with Winkler in tow behind him there. Mikolajic in the 77, but it's still Miller in control.
Miller holding on to the lead here at this point by about 0.7 of a second as they work on the back half of the circuit on lap number 2. Setting up for a good little run down to the inside there was Plumlee. We ride on board with Kirschmeyer right now as Cross tries to be able to see if he's able to gain up from P7 in a battle right now, I believe, with Solari. This is going to be for the last position in the race for P7. Look at the damage there on the front of those trucks. Absolutely brutal bumping here at this point. Single file, though, for about the top 6, it looks like. They're looking like they're pretty calm, but of course, as soon as I say that, Plumlee takes a look down to the inside of turn 3.
Yeah, if you're not leaning on somebody in a short course, you're not driving. That's the way it is. Yeah, these bodies are designed to fly off. They're meant to come off. You've seen it in these models before. But I know with the new damage model, you got to tiptoe a little bit more because they're going to show damage. Look at this. Plumlee looking to the inside, but look at that. He kept that left nose tight in there. Rufus knows these lines, knows this track, as well as Plumlee. So these two are going to be battling a battle of wits right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. Plumlee again setting up as they come off of it. Again, just a little bit of contact there coming into turn 1. And here comes the move for Plumlee. Going to be on the outside going into turn 2. We ride on board with Sean Winkler here at this point, who sits in the popcorn position, as that's going to be Rafa sending it down to the inside, giving a little tap at the tail and cutting off the inside line. Brilliant stuff from Rafis.
Yeah, in the old days, I would have said, you know, tap the brakes a little bit, Plumlee, let him get in the inside, dive to the inside, go for that over-under move. But these guys are getting so smooth through that turn, I don't know if it would have worked.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it would have worked as well as they come down 2 to go here at the line. And I've got to be saying here with Plumlee, if I keep trying to keep these fights up with Rafis, I've got to be watching in my rearview mirror here for Winkler, because he's only about 0.5 of a second behind. And if these two keep leaning on each other, Winkler and Mikolajic could get involved in this battle very quickly.
And that's something a lot of people to take into, account, that you start battling with somebody, it's going to slow you down a little bit. Then you got to worry about the guy behind you. So that move you're going to set up, it actually can be detrimental to your position.
Well, nobody told Plumlee that as he takes a look down to the inside there of turn number 3. He's absolutely going for it. And Sean Winkler up 1 position already. He'd love to be able to advance on and be able to take that position away as they're still leaning on each other here, coming through the final corner. White flag in the air. This could be a little bit of a run for Plumlee. He's going to have the line down to the inside. Not looking like he's going to get it here as they're great camera angles by Ryan Bauer. Plumlee not really able to get to the inside. Winkler maybe trying to line up for a move.
Yeah, definitely great blocking by Rofus there. But Plumley, he's definitely working on him there. But you can see Winkler, he's really starting to get up in the mix there. Plumley looks down low, but he's going to have the inside line for Rufus going into turn number 3. He's going to switch it back, try to get that nose up in the K-rail. A little bumping and beating going on. It's going to be a drag race up the hill. Here we go. Winkler tries to spread out to the outside.
Winkler tries to go to the outside, not going to make it work here at this point. Later on the binders is Plumley, but leaning back into it is Rufus. Who's going to be able to do it? It was a sprint down the back straightaway. It's a sprint down the front straightaway. Plumley, Rufus, who's it going to be? It's Plumley by a 1/10 of a second.
I'm going to say literally a bumper.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think you could get much closer than that. My goodness gracious, that's what short course racing is all about.
Man, I'll tell you, it's fast-paced, and you got to love that, but it's physical.
Very, very much so. As we take a look at those final finishing results, Miller really in a race of their own up at the front of the field there at that point. Rufus and Plumley, that's what we were watching all the way through it. Winkler, I think, is going to be one to watch during those LCQs. Same with Mikulajic, Lind, Kirschmeyer, and Solari rounding out your field. All right, and with that, we are going to go to a quick commercial break here on Podium Esports, but don't go anywhere. We will be back with the iRacing National Short Course Series in just a few moments' time. Welcome back to Podium Esports and the iRacing Short Course Series. We're ready for heat number 3 as it's going to be Dane Culver lining up in pole position with your 2 times a champion Connor Berry to his outside. Back into row 2, it's Cole Fisher and Justin Kay in P4. P5 will be Coder Vandiver, followed by Cody Winecki there in P6. Cameron McGeshik will be in P7. Jeremy Wett will round out your 8-car field. Well, as we get going here at this point, Dave Arnold, my co-broadcaster here in the booth, what have we learned thus far? Maybe not nearly as much bumping and bang as we thought was going to be taking place, but still very good racing from all these drivers.
Well, yeah, when you get to the heat events, it's usually a little bit more tame, but when we get the LCQs, I think it's going to be a little bit more physical for sure.
Well,
That's one thing for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to see just how it plays out.
Well, one of the things I talked about earlier is the damage model has changed a lot of the way these drivers drive now. You know, this is a race simulator, not a video game, and they are simulating anything that could happen to give it the most realistic feel. And that's what I appreciate what iRacing's done with short course and across the board with their other racing.
Yeah, very much so. It is not a video game, and anybody that tells you it is a video game, well, you will sure get an earful, let me tell you.
Yes.
Right now, let's keep our eye here as the heat race number 3 is about ready to get going. iRacing pace truck skittering away into the distance, and the green flag flies once again. Here we go. Connor Berry in P2. Is he going to take a look down to the inside? No, but he's going to get a little contact from behind. So much for clean race starts. A lot of how you doing coming down into turn 1. We got bumpers flying already.
Yeah, I was going to say those fenders are starting to come off there. Good move. Looks like Barry goes a little wide. Everybody's going to go 3 wide, battling for that position 2. But it's Dane Culver, knuckles up, baby, right out front with Barry. Hold on a second. Look at this. Fisher and Vanderveer. We're just going toe-to-toe. We're going to have 3 wide. Kay wants to get into the fight now.
Kay wants to get into it. Vanderveer with a great move to be able to go down into turn 3. More contact, more bumpers fly. Oh my goodness, hello. Fisher absolutely pushing and shoving. A car disappearing from existence there for a second. And we're going to be Noah's Ark side by side, 2 by 2, coming down into turn 1. Connor Berry on the back foot here at this point as they come to an absolutely crushing halt down into turn 1. Connor Berry continues to fight. Vanderveer and Winecki out in front. Here they go, but this is all music to the eyes of Culver, your leader, who is just scampering off into the distance.
Yeah, Vanderveer right now has got a whole handful of Connor Berry coming up the back door. You can see Winecki trying to get up in there in that number 9 machine as they make it run up the hill. And you can see the undulations going up this hill. This is just not a smooth climb, especially this part.
No, and once again, going back to that damage model, I love that you're seeing the bumpers and the fenders flipping and flopping all over the place. It really adds to a great visual there. As here we see Vanderveer, as you said, under big pressure here from Barry, coming down into turn 1. Vanderveer going to be able to hold him off for the moment. No, he's not. Barry's got a nose ahead, but it's going to be advantage Vanderveer coming down into turn number 2.
Outside in.
Yep,
there he goes.
Boom.
Now this, it sets you up though. Vanderveer will have the inside, so you almost got to do it a second time. Slicky looking to the inside again, laying a little nose on him. Very nice move.
Play. Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful there at that point as we get a drone's eye view. Barry down to the inside. And don't count out Winecki here at this point. He's going to be pushing ahead. If Barry and Vanderveer continue to fight, as we talked about earlier, that could put them in rough stead, as there is a live look on board with Connor Barry looking out the back of his number 2 truck here at this point. Is Vanderveer trying to close in behind? Is he going to be able to do it here at this point? Fisher, though, keeping Winecki at bay for the moment. That could prevent any battle coming on ahead, as indeed Fisher sends a move down to the inside of 3.
And see if he's going to do a replay. There's tap on the brakes, dumped to the inside here, but look how tight to the wall Winecki is. He's just saying, no, you're not getting my inside.
No, that is defensive driving 101. Cole Fisher, though, trying to close on in. Big ka-thunk there, coming up and over the barriers there at this point. He's going to try to push ahead here, but losing a little bit of ground as they come across the line with 2 laps to go in heat number 3 of 4. That bumper flying around on him there at that point. A little bit distracting, but not going to cause him too much agita there here as they go. Connor Berry still holding on. Culver, your leader, by almost 3 seconds.
Yeah, Culver's able to walk away with everybody battling behind him, trying to hold positions, fight off positions to increase their position. It all lets that lead slip right out through their fingers.
Exactly, and Barry here maybe a little bit upset about the fact he's not going to be able to close in. Dane Culver, I think, with the setup of a lifetime there, full cockpit there. I love that setup for the number 51. is he's going to be coming to the white flag with no concerns at all. Okay, maybe a little bit of concerns. He just touched the outside wall. That's a little suboptimal, but nevertheless, Culver 2.7 seconds the gap, 1 lap to go. He's just got to hold on for another 1.5 miles.
Yeah, sometimes you got to use the K-rail to straighten yourself out a little bit. Or as they say on the East Coast, the Jersey barriers.
There you go, there you go. Winecki trying to send a little bit of a move down to the inside of Vanderveer there into turn 1. Not going to play out, going to look for it again, but just not quite enough of a crossover there to get it to play. As now they look down into turn number 3. This is our closest battle as Connor Perry starting to slip away off into the distance of these two, and this is the battle for that final transfer spot.
Yeah, it looks like Barry's settling into the race pace now. He's got him off the back end of his truck, off his back porch, as I like to say. Now his concentration is on the back porch of Culver. But at this point, one white lap. It's a lot of lap. So, you know, I mean, there's still some time, but not enough time.
No, none at all, as that's going to be Culver crossing over the line and taking the checkered flag there ahead of Barry. Good recovery there for Barry, really showing his championship credentials at that point. It looked like he was down in the order. It looked like he could have been down and out early on in the race, but able to fight his way back forward in that heat. And Vanderveer able to climb their way back up ahead. Everybody going to the LCQ, though. Winecki, Fisher, Mageshik, Wet, and Kay. Kay being a lap down there at that point. Not entirely sure what happened to him. I think that was that car that just sort of disappeared off the face of the earth, battling down into or off of turn 4. But we get ready for our final heat race of the night here at this point. Trenton Briley going to lead us off, followed by Nicholas Dashalet in P2. As we move back into Road 2, it's Zachary Drapekin and then Parker Retzlaff, as you said, fresh off some antics down in Daytona. Nesson Prater, one of the drivers to watch out for in P5. Oliver Golding in P6. And then P7 will be Nathan Batoxin, Dennis Crosby, round out your 8-car grid.
Yeah, Oliver Golding's one to keep an eye on, too. He's had some flashes and glimpses of greatness, and, you know, I'd like to see him get a good run up there. But he's got some stout talent in this field. It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, this is not going to be an easy final heat to try to get their way through here at this point. And remember, this top 3, that's who advances on automatically into the main event here tonight. Everybody else has got to go back to those 3 LCQs, and it's only 2 drivers that advance on from those LCQs. So we could see a lot of drivers going home with a little bit of tears in their eyes as they go home early because, well, as you said earlier, Tave, when we get to those LCQs, that's when elbows come out big time.
Yeah, like you said, though, 2 positions, man, that is a tough one to go.
Engines are fired here at this point as they get ready to head through turn 4, waiting for the pace truck to start its maneuvers, and there it goes. A field of 8 for the final time here tonight gets their way around. 6 laps on the board. Let's see what everybody's got as they come down out of turn 4 here at this point. Pace truck slams on that accelerator pedal, gets its way going. And right now, we get ready to go racing for heat number 4. It's a good getaway from your pole sitter as everybody flies up into the air, climbing up into turn 1, trying to make a big move around the outside. A little bit more how you doing in the back, but a nice move there for P2 to be able to hold on to that spot.
Yeah, nice Deschalais there for sure. And I got to tell you, Trenton Briley, that was a textbook number 1 turn, how he negotiated through there, as well as 2. Let's see on 3 as he goes there. Deschalais trying to get up in there. Here comes Draken in that red line machine. And Mason Prater, 2-time champion, sitting off 1 spot from qualifying to the main event.
Yeah, but he's got his hands full here at this point as we ride on board with Zachary Drapekin right now, trying to see if he's able to get his way over Deschalais. Your top 3 only separated by about 0.7 of a second. Ooh, squirrely run in the back there for Prater. I wonder if he got a little bit of contact from Parker Retzlaff.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of help there.
Oh, that was a lot of help there coming into turn 1.
Yeah, talk about blowing the turn and coming around. Look at this battle there, the 31 of Ratzliff and Golding going door to door. Ratzliff,
Prater, I don't think, took too kindly to that little bump and run, and there you go. The one of the drivers you said to keep an eye on, Oliver Golding, says, thank you very much. I'll take that 4th place away from you if you're not doing anything with it.
Yeah, OG doing a good job out there. Got quite a few real-life short course racers out there going up. Riley, Drapkin, Golding, Prater. It's a stacked field of talent there.
Yeah, it certainly is.
I'm just going to say, I'm not going to take it away from Ratzliff or Dashley or, any of these guys. Metoxen's a talented driver, too. Oh!
Prater almost off into the outside berm. He's going to have to recover it, but he's now going to find himself under pressure from Metoxen here, as the 31 of Retzlaff now is going to be back in the battle with Prater. Somehow I thought Prater was down and out, but he's right back in, and big elbow there to Retzlaff as he's going to come down out of turn 3, almost shoving him off the side of the course. All right, blood is up here in heat number 4.
Yeah, they are definitely out for this one, that's for sure. Blood will be drawn. And look at back there, 3 wide coming down the hill as they're firing Briley. Oh, man, that is just incredible.
Oh, that's what you love to see. Dennis Crosby here is sitting back in the last spot on the track, but he may have a little bit of a run. No, looks like Retzlaff's going to cover him off there at that point. Retzlaff and Prater just absolutely banging doors with each other. As now look at this, a nice little battle up for the lead as well. Dashley and Briley pretty close.
Yeah, Dashley had it for a moment there, but look at this. Now Drapkin, he's got his sights set on Briley as he gets by Dashley. Dashley right on the tail of Drapkin up the hill. Boy, talk about some talent. These 3 drivers have been on the podium. They have all taken wins.
Oh, a little bit of contact there with Dashley coming out of turn number 4. And that's going to give Briley a little bit of an opportunity to streak off into the distance as he makes his way into turn 1. Looks like a little bit of a good run there for Dashley, trying to be able to get off the corner a little bit better. They've sort of sorted themselves out in the back, so we'll keep our eyes up here. Dashley gets a big run around the outside, gets into the back there of Drapkin, and that's going to scupper any momentum that either of them have.
Yeah, definitely that slowed him down just a little bit there. Drapkin keeping his nose on that K-rail there. You can see Dashley saying, you leave a little daylight, I'm going to take advantage of it at this point.
Yeah, he is. Oh, big blink there for Drapkin. That's never what you want to see when you're in close quarters action like this. Already setting that truck up there is Dashley as they come down, charging down the hill. White flag in the air for Briley. 1 second lead over Drapkin and Dashley. The question here, can Dashley get this move done?
Well, Dashley is definitely turning the pressure up there, but Drapkin knows how to defensively drive. Oh, talk about laying a fender on somebody. That fender went flying. Let's see if Dashley is going to tap the brakes and go for outside, inside. No, he's going to take the long way around there. Drapkin's playing games there. You see him? Yeah, he's playing a little game there. Oliver Golding's going to be able to start coming up in the back door of Dashley here soon.
Yeah, certainly is. And that was pretty brilliant by Drapkin. I mean, almost just completely stopping that truck in the middle of turn 2, going, yeah, you're not getting by. Here comes a big old move for Dashley, trying to send it down to the inside there, trying to get into the left rear, but it's not going to matter for Briley. Trenton Briley takes victory here in heat race number 4. Drapkin and Dashley automatically advancing. And look at this. Back farther in the field, they're still leaning on each other.
Yeah, one shocker, Prater not to qualify right out of the heat race, so that's going to be interesting. But these fields are stacked so much of talent now. It's anyone's game. One mistake, you're out.
One mistake, you're out, and that is never going to be more than it is in these upcoming LCQs. Culver, that's heat race number 3. That was the one we just watched there, I think, a little bit earlier on. We'll see if we can get that. There we go. Briley, Drapkin, and Dashley automatically advancing on. OG, Metoxen, Prater, Retzlaff, and Crosby all have to go back to the LCQs. Well, folks, we're going to get these trucks resorted out here, and then we're going to bring you right back to some more action for the iRacing National Short Course Series. LCQs coming up after this. Welcome back to Podium Esports in the iRacing Short Course Series. It is time for the LCQs. As in LCQ number 1, it's going to be Crystal King starting off at P1, Oliver Golding, OG to the outside. Then back in row 2, it's Cole Fisher and Matthew Lind. As we move back into row number 3, Tyler Shattuck, Parker Retzlaff. Going to have to be able to duke it out there in P6. Only 6 drivers here in the LCQs, but as we talked about, Dave Arnold, it is going to be a little bit difficult because only the top 2 advance on.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight one for sure. And I think it was going to get physical. I know Crystal's a very clean driver. She's been punted before. She doesn't like that. I know Oliver, he's used to getting physical out there, but, he's in a good position. This is going to be a good start, I think. I think this is going to be a clean one.
All right, well, we will have to see exactly what shakes itself out as they bring their way back around and get ready to get going here at this point. Ready to go along. As sounds like drivers have been given the command to fire up the engines here at this point. That means that they're going to be able to bring their way out and around. 4 laps is all they have to do. Dave, how much does that amp up the anxiety for these drivers, cutting down the number of laps for them?
Oh, I mean, you just saw how fast 6 laps went. 4 laps is a blink of an eye to these drivers. Before you know it, that white flag's out and you're running for your life. It's the truer case there. Now, this could be interesting because, the top 2 drivers, I know they're going to come through clean, but the other drivers in the back, they're going to try and get up front too. So this could be interesting.
Could be interesting as the green flag flies. Great start there from Crystal King. Going to be able to hold on to that. Everybody else chucking down into the corner. Oh, big contact there from behind. It looks like in 5th place, but Crystal King going to be able to hold on to it. Good battle here going down into turn 2 for P2.
Yeah, Crystal King goes a little wide than I normally pick that turn there. Oliver Golding staying low, but Crystal kept that bumper between those 2 drivers there.
Yeah,
nice move.
Yeah, nice move indeed. Golding going to be able to hold on to that P2 here at this point. Fisher was on the attack, now on the defense, as Lind is going to be trying to come up there inside. Looks like that's going to back away a little bit. Parker Retzlaff trying to get a little bit of a run. Shattuck left back into 6th. Retzlaff climbing over the berm, going everywhere to get a position.
Yeah, unfortunately, those 2 out front running right there. Those are the 2 qualifying positions. Retzlaff gets by Lind for a second there. Oh, boy. Truck's getting unsettled big time after that jump.
Yeah, I think Shattuck actually landed on the back there of Lind, and that's what threw it off. We watch right now Fisher as they try to be able to hold their way up ahead. Retzlaff going to take a look down to the inside, but gets turned by Lind, and that's going to scupper any momentum that Retzlaff had. Still going to be trying to fight back for it here at this point. Coming down to the inside, it's the 333 of Lind here as they go. And now Retzlaff left out to dry as they're going to drop back down to 5th place. We take a look out the back here of Oliver Golding, the final transfer position. Loving seeing these battles go on behind him.
Yeah, you can see the lines that these 2 drivers are taking are a little bit different on that final turn coming down the hill, and that really shows. I mean, we're already halfway through this race. I mean, we're going to see the white flag and then a checker before you know it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've got about a half a lap left, and then we're going to get the checker down on the track. Cole Fisher, steely eyes of determination here at this point, trying to close down on King and Golding up at the front of the field. Golding trying to just close on in onto the back here of Crystal King. Doesn't want to try to force the issue. Again, you get into that battle, that's just going to cost the both of you time. I think their strategy here at this point is just keep on keeping on.
Yeah, I think Oliver and Crystal King both need to focus like there's nobody else on the track. Run your lines. Run it like it's your track. Don't think about what's behind you. There it is. One lap.
One flag, one flag, one flag. One lap to go for our drivers there at this point. As they come down through the corners, Fisher trying to close into the best of their ability, but OG and Crystal King looking like they've got control of this. The scrappiness that we saw farther back in the field not coming out to play here at this point as they continue to go around. Golding closing in on King, but again, not wanting to push that on.
And Fisher got up on the bicycle, lost a little bit more ground there. Lind able to catch up there, but look at this. Retzlaff and Shattuck just unfortunately just can't get that drive. This one, you might be able to pull the fork out because I think it's finished.
Yeah, I think you're right about that as Crystal King comes down through the final couple of bumps over the start-finish line. It's going to be King, and it's going to be Golding advancing. Everybody else has to go home early.
Well, they'll definitely have a good seat in the audience, that's for sure.
Yes, they will indeed here at Wild West Motorsport Park. They'll be able to see everything that they can. As we said, King and Golding able to advance on. Fisher, Lind, Retzlaff, and Shattuck all going home early here today. But the action's not done. We're ready for LCQ number 2. As we get ready to go here, it's going to be Sean Winkler and Dennis Mickelson lining up in row 1. Row 2 will be comprised of Nathan Metaxen and Cameron Mageshik in P4. And then your final row, your penultimate row will be Cross Kirschmeyer and Cody Giles. Then as we bring back, it's Justin Kay in 7th place. One more driver. Let's just spice things up a little bit more and make 7 instead of 6.
Yeah, you got those odd numbers out there. You got to get them fit in there somehow. But I think Kay's the one that had the problem that went into the pit. So this could be a redemption song for him.
Yeah, very well could. We really don't know what Kay's speed is here at this point because of that. So that's going to be the truck to watch here for me at this point. That's going to be really interesting to see what they're able to do.
Yeah, I got to agree. Okay, sometimes you got to go for the underdog and you're not sure of. Just to shake things up a little bit.
No, you always cheer for the underdog. That's why I'm an Angels fan.
You too.
Yeah.
My Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Still can't figure that out.
The Angels of Anaheim? But whatever. We'll move on from that topic before we get a copyright strike. Here at this point, they're going to come out of the final corner right now. Here they move on through. Pace truck on the loud pedal here at this point as your leaders come to the line. Here they go. LCQ number 2 is green, and it's a brilliant start from your leader, but a battle brewing for P2 down to the inside. 1, 2, 3. They all come together 3 wide out of 1.
And a little contact there, beating and banging going on. The battle for second, heating up there. Look at they're attached at the hip there. Starting to separate, looks to the outside end, and a big punt there. Saw a fender go flying on that one.
Yeah, it's going to be Metaxen that holds it on here at this point, and look who's up there in the mix. That's the number 29 truck of K. We said to watch out for him. Certainly in it here at this point. They're going to fall back into 6th right now, but certainly battling side by side with Mageshik. We ride on board with Justin here. Going to try to send this maybe around the outside, coming down through turn 4. No, going to look down to the inside now with Mageshik and Mickelson as they're side by side in front of him. Meanwhile, Winkler just skittering off into the distance.
Yeah, it looked a little slick there as they came around there. K up another position. Gership and him battling. Oh, big contact there.
Yeah, big contact. That's going to be a ripple effect affecting Kirschmeyer, Mageshik, and K. And it looks like Kyle is off here at this point. Big off for Giles, and that's Giles, and that's going to put them out of the race.
Yeah, it looks like he went into the pit there. That's going to put it out there. We've already got 2 laps down, 2 to go. Metaxen with a good run at second. He's just got to hold on to it because Winkler just walking away with this one.
Yeah, 2.3 seconds the gap here at this point as they come down out of the final corner, working on lap 3 of 4. 2 to go here from Wild West Motorsport Park. And it looks like for all of the insanity that we saw, everybody's calmed down here for the moment. We ride on board with Dennis Mickelson, trying to close in the back of Kirschmeyer. They need to get themselves ahead and close in on Metaxen if they want to advance on. But Metaxen, as you said, just hold him down steady in front of this field. And look at that coming together there with Mickelson and Kirschmeyer.
Yeah, Mickelson and Kirschmeyer were trying to throw a little fender at him there. Metaxen, though, just got to stay his game at this point. He's going to the dance if he stays there. Yeah, look how dark it's got.
Yeah, cloud cover coming over here. One of the things that iRacing has modeled, rain, #soon. We're so excited. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Is there you can see the outlook look, and look at that gap for Winkler. 2.7 seconds. That is almost unthinkable here at this point in a 4-lap heat.
And it's bye-bye at this point. Metaxen 2.9 behind though, but look at this. Mickelson, 1 lap to go here. The hallelujah flag, as I like to call it.
Start saying your prayers here at this point. Mickelson and, Kirschmeyer and Kay look like they're battling around for P4 right now. But we've got to give massive credit here to Sean Winkler. That is the most pristine truck we have seen all night, and that is because there has never been a doubt over the course of this LCQ. Sean Winkler takes victory in LCQ number 2, and he'll move on to the big show.
And it looks like Matox is going to wrap up that final transfer position to the dance. Unfortunately, Mickelson one step off the box.
Just not able to get it done there in LCQ number 2. As there it is going to be Matoxen, and it is going to be your victor there in LCQ number 2. Winkler able to move on. Mickelson, Kirschmeyer, Kay, a very valiant effort to move up from the back of the field. Mikeshik and Giles, they're not moving on, rather. Well, one more LCQ on the docket here, and it's going to be Cody Wienecke that leads us off to pole position. Mikulecic will be in P2, Paul Mikulecic there, and then Thad Countryman lining up P3. Mason Prater, a little bit of a surprise to not see Prater moving his way up forward. He's going to be one to keep an eye for. Jeremy Wett, Patrick Solari line up P5 and P6. And then Dennis Crosby rounds out your 7-truck field here at this point. I've got to think that truck of Prater is the one that I'm going to have my eyes on here.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's a shocker that Prater's gone to this, and I don't think I've ever seen him not qualify. And I like how he's got the Ricky Bobby Kitty on there.
Exactly. Always love to see a little bit of the movie references coming out now and again as they try to be able to get themselves ahead. But here they go, out at turn 4, 4 laps in the final LCQ of the night, and then it's time for the big show. As all eyes turn toward the flag stand here, pace truck scampers off into the distance, and there is the green as we get racing here for the final race. Put 4 laps on the board, and here we go, the dive down into turn 1. Big send coming up from behind, and that's going to be Prater almost turned.
Yeah, I was going to say, Prater went a little wide on that one. He's able to get out. He's able to squeeze that thing. Shot him out like a toothpaste. Just squeezed him through that turn.
Oh, and more contact. Countryman getting in the way there as well. And that's going to put Prater all the way to the back of the field.
That's not something I was expecting, but look at this. Solari, Crosby, Countryman, Mikulecic, Wett, and Wienecke out front.
Oh, and that's Prater high-sided himself.
He is doing a rail grind.
And that's going to be 2 drivers out. Prater looks like he flipped over the barriers, and Countryman and Prater out of it here early, and the one to take advantage of all of the chaos. Jeremy Wett in this number 38 truck just absolutely put that machine right where they needed to. Mikulecic, though, looking to close on in as that's a sketchy run coming out of turn 1.
Yeah, I was a little shocked at how it's gone full, but Wienecke, not surprised he's up there running. He's always had good run. Mikulecic. But Wett, that's the one I'm surprised at right now. A newcomer, I'll tell you, impressive.
Very impressive. Just able to keep their head while all others kind of lost theirs at the moment. And that's going to put him in prime position, but he is going to be under a lot of pressure here from Mikulecic behind. Mikulecic, that's the second time we've seen him try to put the bumper to the back of Jeremy Wett, but Wett is holding it out well, almost trying to crowd a little bit as they cross over the start-finish line here at this point. But Mikulecic going to have the preferred line coming down into turn 1, and now it's going to be looking for that over-under for Jeremy Wett. So over-under indeed that he climbs up onto the rails.
And he's going to make a run up the inside here to see if he can keep that speed up. Who's going to outbreak who? But Mikulecic with a great line. That's where you want to be, right in the middle preferred line. If there's nobody there trying to force the situation, that's where you got to put it.
That's where you got to put it. That's where he did put it, as we're on 2 laps to go here already. Mikulecic just absolutely taking care of business here at this point. And now they come down into the final corner, coming to the white flag here at this point. Wett trying to close down on Mikulecic if he can. No concern here to Wienecke, who once again has led since the drop of the green, just pulling away here at this point. We ride on board with Jeremy Wett as he maybe throws a Hail Mary here in the last moments.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one there. You know, he's definitely going to have to run this right up the inside there of Mikulecic. Mikulecic's got a good run. He's going to save that middle preferred line. Ooh, kind of kept that nose low. He didn't want to leave that open. That was a smart move.
Yeah, did not want to leave that open, and that's going to be able to shut the door here and potentially shut the chapter for Jeremy Went. Only one more corner to go for these drivers. They're going to come out of the corner, and Cody Wienecke, with the drive of a lifetime, started on the pole and takes victory here in LCQ number 3, and it's going to be your second place driver able to advance on as well. Everybody else has to go home. An impressive performance from this field.
Well, the good thing is most of them are home, so they won't have to go far.
Indeed, indeed. One of the beauties of the sim. You can definitely come home and just enjoy yourself. Mika Lejic will be the one to advance on. Wet, Solari, Crosby, Countryman, and Prater not making it on. Well, folks, those are the end of the LCQs. We're going to take one more quick break here on Podium Esports, but we will be back with the main event for the iRacing National Short Course Series. Welcome back to Podium Esports. You have seen 4 heat races, 3 LCQs, and the field is now set for our 22-lap 18-truck feature event. Competition caution at the end of lap 9. But Dave Arnold joining me, DJ Clark, along here in the booth. Dave, we've seen the elbows start to come out a little bit more there in those LCQs. Are we going to see more bumping and banging, or are drivers going to control themselves a little bit more when we get into this?
Well, that's a tough one to say. I mean, the guys in front, you know, they're fighting. They know they're going to be up front. The guys in the back, I always say it gets a little bit frustrated. You drive frustrated. That happens sometimes. Happens in everything we do in life. When you get frustrated, I'm going to push them a little harder next time. The admins are going to be keeping an eye on that. But I think overall, everybody that's made the LCQs a very, I'm going to call it advanced driver at the National Series. It's not at the regionals where we see a lot more physicality going on. So I think we're going to see some good clean racing in there. We're going to see a little bumping and beating going on. I mean, if we didn't see that, it wouldn't be short course racing, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, it is the old adage. The rubbin is indeed racing in this form of racing here. Full pace lap going to be on cue here for that. And let's go ahead and bring us on into our grid here today because we are ready. Trenton Briley going to be lining up in pole position. Dane Culver to his outside. That's going to be a fun front row. Tyson Miller and Luke Knupp, they're in row 2. Another good one to keep an eye out for. Joel Blewett and Jacob Raffos will be in P6. And then as we work our way back through the field, it's Connor Perry and Zachary Trepkin. They're in P8. Row 5 is Darren Sainz, and Christopher Plumley rounds out your top 10 here, Dave.
Yeah, that's going to be a stacked field right there. I mean, Dane Culver up front for sure. I mean, some surprisers. Prater not making it in there. But, King, Knupp, Connor Berry. There's a lot of talented drivers. Zach Drapkin. And you got some talented drivers in the back of the row there that we've seen, like Nathan Matoxin and Paul Mikolajic there in P17 and 18. Oof. That's just going to be deep there.
Yeah, it's going to be very deep. I think we're going to see good racing up and down this field. I mean, there is no question about that at all, that we are going to see constant battling all over this field. And again, that competition caution on lap 9 can bunch everything back up again. And how much does that play into the strategy here for these drivers? I mean, does that mean that if you get yourself into a little bit of rough airs early on, do you know that you're going to have that, so you may be a little bit more aggressive here in these opening laps?
Well, sometimes you're going to have to collect yourself, because when you start driving like that, then you're going to start losing ground. That's the way it is. You got to stay smooth out there. It's dirt racing. There's a lot of sliding going on. The more contact, the more sliding with the contact, the less ground you're going to gain. And that's kind of like, you got to keep it smooth. You got to keep it calm.
Well, that's always the way I like to say it. Calm, cool, and collected is the only way to get your way around a racetrack. This is going to be wild, though. I mean, we've got a full fleet of 22 trucks here ready to dive down into turn 18, excuse me. I learned how to count at some point in time.
22 laps. You got
22 laps. I knew I had 22 from somewhere. But 18 trucks here at this point, and I don't care how cautious you are when you're trumping down into turn 1. There's going to be contact with a full fleet of 18 trucks.
Oh, yeah, there's not going to be any denying. I mean, turn 1 and turn 2 are going to be definitely interesting, and let alone turn 3. Now, when they get up to turn 4, what they've established, you saw that finger or that little bump that unsettles them there, and they're pitching that thing sideways. There's a lot of trucks there. A lot of contact's going to happen.
Yep. I've got to agree with you fully there about that. Well, the lights are out on the iRacing truck here at this point, which means control of the field is ready to go back into the hands of the drivers. And we get ready for a 9-lap sprint that then leads on into a full feature of 22 laps here at this point. iRacing Page Truck scampers off down the main straightaway as control of the field goes over to your pole sitter. All eyes turn towards the flag stand as there goes the green, and we are racing here in Wild West Motorsport Park. Good getaway from the field. They're all perfectly parallel as they dive down into the corner. And here comes the accordion effect, bumping and banging, banging and bumping. That was a lot cleaner than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I was really surprised on that myself. I thought these guys were coming up a little fast in the back of the pack, but here they come. The accordion's getting tight again.
Yep, getting tight again as we go to the drone camera here again, provided by our fantastic director, Ryan Bauer here. A little bit of 3, almost 4 wide. No, definitely 3 wide coming out of turn 2, as that's going to be a little bit farther back of the field. But Briley still leads over Culver and Knupp. They're looking pretty good. That battle that you see is Miller, Raffos, and Blewett.
And you saw Knupp going to the inside there, and Culver making the pass up in a second, getting a good run down that straightaway there. Culver, Miller, Raffos, Blewett, Berry, Sainz, Vanderveer, and Drapkin, the top 10. Crystal King sits just outside the top 10.
That was a nice little move there by Culver, trying to go down to the inside of Knupp. Not going to work out here, though, as Knupp is going to hold the inside line. Could we see another little crossover? We're going to see a little bit of a how you doing there from Culver as they came down into turn 2. Now down to the inside. Here is your reigning 2-time champion, Connor Berry, trying to work his way ahead on the number 13 of Raffos, trying to see if there's anything to gain It's tricky to try to set up a pass here into turn 4. Here we check back in on that battle for P2 as they work their way into turn 4.
And you know, one thing you do notice is as drivers go on camera here, you can see how calm they are. You got to be smooth. You got to have precise movements. These things, you don't jerk them around, and you know, you're very counter steer, you know, going around. You can see them trying to scrub the wheels there to keep the front momentum going forward and not off to the right.
Yeah, very much so. And there you see that big stack up there. Almost contact with Ramos. I mean, talk about millimeter precision here from Connor Berry. It is no wonder that he is a two-time champion with the ability to control that blue and black truck with that much. As here he comes on the move down to the inside of Ramos. He's got a little bit of a run. I think he's got that position. Yes, he does.
Connor is a wheelman, like a surgeon out there, just slicing through the crowd. Gotta love it.
Absolutely brilliant stuff there from Connor Berry. Briley and Knupp continue to lead up at the front of the field here at this point. We take a look out the back of Trenton Briley. And again, that's not calm there at that point. Dare I say that's comatose in the way that he is.
I mean, these kids, I've watched Briley, Knupp, Culver, Berry, all since they were probably 5 or 6 years old coming up through this. And they are old hands at this.
Yeah, just making it look easy out there. And folks, if you want an idea of just how difficult this is, jump onto iRacing and try running this by yourself, and then add 18 of your or 17 of your best friends out there and try to keep those kind of margins. Oh, almost a tip over there for the number 50 in the battle for ninth. That's Signs, and they're side by side. That's King and Vanderveer.
All I gotta say is, there's your sign. Yeah, that was a nice move by there. Blew it though. I gotta say, impressive. That 7th slot, liking the 74 number, reminds me of old Sheldon Creed in his short course days. Oh, there goes a fender.
Flying off the outside there at that point. That is off of Blewett's car, I believe. Healthy little gap above Signs right now as the number 74 going to work their way on through. Love that livery, by the way. The blue and red with the flames. That's very, very nice there, Joel. I like that quite a bit. As he's going to now bring his way down through turn 4. Yeah, that bumper's still flopping around there on it, but it's not causing him any distress. Yeah,
very impressed by Blewett as going there, but going back up top, Riley, as he still leads him to turn number 1. Knupp, he's about half a second back, 4/10 to a half as it bounced back and forth. And there's a good gap back there, about a second there to Culver. One little mistake though, but look at this, Berry up to 5th position. Eyes set on Miller, and this is, take a look here as you see his lines he's setting up there. You can't leave an open door to Connor Berry. Miller's going to stay smart, keep that nose on the K-rail.
Yeah, and he's got to not be over-eager here trying to get a move on Culver. I mean, that's what he's going to be eyeing here, obviously. Well, okay, never mind. He is going to go for a move on Culver, proving me wrong. Side by side.
It's good for Berry. Look at this.
Yeah, exactly. Berry's going to be able to close up here. He's going to be looking at a crossover, I'd have to imagine, coming down into turn 1. That's exactly what he's thinking about. Gets to the rear there of Miller. Gives him a little bit of a how you doing. Not able to get the move done here at this point, but we've got to battle up for the lead. Briley and Knupp.
Yeah, Knupp working him outside in, inside out. Look at this. He's going to go for an outside in again. He's going to try and get that nose up there, but Briley knows this trick. He's driven this track in real life just as Knupp. I think they actually raced trophy cars against each other back in the day.
Yeah, Luke Knupp here we ride on board with. Let's see if he tries to set a little bit of a maneuver coming down into turn 4. Thinks about going to the inside, just tries to carry that momentum as best as possible. Meanwhile, in the back there, you can see Connor Berry getting a run on Miller, not able to make that run out of the corner, but he's going to be pushing as hard as he can. Next lap, by the way, will be competition caution, so if Berry wants to get this move now, he's got to go, 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 and he is on the move.
Yeah, Fender was flying. He took that inside run, but look at this. Miller trying to get up there. Berry's going to try and get that thing to cross over down low, get that nose on the K-rail, but Miller squeezes him out. Oh, side by side. Look at this, though. We've got a 3-way battle getting ready to develop here.
And Rafa says, thank you, sir. I'll have another. He's going to try to take that position away from Miller. Barry's been able to claim on to P4, but they're going to run to the line here to this competition caution, and it's going to be a question of if this is going to be Rafos or Miller. Excuse me, it's going to be the next lap, so we've got a little bit more. White flag to the competition caution here as they run. They jump across the line. That was a good move by Connor Barry, but I've got to say the move of that out of all of it was the number 13 of Rafos. Battle back for the lead, though.
Well, Rafos, a Norwegian rallycross champion, so I got to say the kid knows how to slide in the dirt.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Does.
It's got to be a late one for him, too. Ooh. I mean, wee hours of the morning, I think.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about that time zone conversion right now. As we ride on board with Knupp here at this point, still trying to be able to get a little bit of a move over Briley. Looks like that battle between Miller and Rafos isn't quite dead yet. But now they're going to be coming to the competition caution here as they come down across turn 4. Here they come to the line. Yellow flag will fly in the air. Competition caution will bring everybody down to calm.
And time to re-rack them and restack them.
Indeed. Here, as you can see, the drivers bleeding off speed as they come across the line right now, just bringing everything back underneath. This is good news for us. Everybody's on the lead lap, so this shouldn't be too long.
Yeah, it usually doesn't always happen that way, so that's good to see. These guys have really, I mean, the level here at the National Series has just taken leaps and bounds over the last couple of years. These drivers are so talented.
Yeah, I mean, it is absolutely insane. As we said earlier, the millimeter precision that is required here on a very rough surface there as they waiting for that pace truck to bring them back around. This is a good chance for a lot of drivers to shake it out a little bit, get some of that adrenaline out of the system, maybe get a quick drink of water, just relax for a minute before you get back into the throes of battle.
We got the Brady Bunch going on up there. Got a little story. No, sorry.
You know, it's actually just down the street from me is the Brady Bunch house.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
I've driven by that.
Yeah, shot up here in the valley. It's about 2 blocks away from me. But looks like here that everybody's just waiting for the official go from race control to be able to bring things back around. Again, we're going to have that same amount of battling their way back on through. And my question here is, with this reset, what is Connor Barry going to be able to do? I mean, we saw that aggressiveness moving his way forward. The double champion here certainly going to be strong. Knupp, I think, is another one to keep an eye out for as well. Just going to have to keep our eyes on what they're going to be able to do. We ride on board with Trenton Briley right now here at this point. He's going to come down out of the hill as he floors it, getting ready to go. We're back under green from Wild West Motorsport Park.
Oh, a little bump and run here in the start. Looks like they're going to try and split off. Here we go, up the hill. Turn number 1. Let's see where the... Oh! Taking it to the inside. We're going to have side-by-side. We could have Knupp to the lead. But Briley, he's going to answer back, left that inside line into turn 2, off the lead.
Yep, and it looks like there that was him trying to be able to hold as much as possible. But look at that, Knupp trying to hold on there. I thought he was going to lose positions there to Culver and Barry. Meanwhile, Barry down to the inside of Culver, getting that podium position away if he's able to hold it. Battle further back in the field with Rafos, Sainz, and Miller here as they run Noah's Ark down into turn 4. Here they come, Briley and Knupp battling for the lead.
And you can see Culver took it off to the inside there. Barry trying to switch up that position and get a run down the inside. And look at this, Knupp with the inside line on Briley. Coming around turn number 1. Briley's going to go for the over. Oh, it's Barry to the inside. 3 wide.
With the big move to try to make that work, but he is going to be massively out of position coming down into turn 2. Going to try to get that car around the 57 there. 51 of Culver trying to get involved in it. And Culver's able to take a couple of positions.
Colby out there battling for second now with Barry. Barry gets it by a nose, so they come up the hill, but Knupp still in the lead. And look at this, Briley back to 4th place, but still in the fight.
Still in the fight here at this point. They're going to try to get their way ahead. Whoa. Lots of how you doing there. Briley down to the inside of Barry here at this point. It's going to be a drag race, as again, they're going to be perfectly parallel with 10 laps to go, crossing over the start-finish line here at this point. And that's going to be, contact there. Barry forced out wide, 3-4 wide through one, and that's Barry that's the big loser.
And it's going to be Raffis, Briley, and Culver, the 3 wide. Bailey's going to go and split the upright, trying to get the inside of Culver. He's going to squeeze it through. Back up into third, Barry goes. Briley holds on to second. And look at this, Raffis. He's sliding, his parts go flying off into the track.
Yeah, Culver trying to fight back here at this point. I think most of those parts were off of Barry's car here at this point. He will hold on to third position. Culver trying to gain back in on him here at this point over the bump that leads into turn 4. And look at that gap that Canup has been able to get at the front of the field.
And that's what happens whenever he beats and bangs behind you. Look at this. We're going to have 3 wide in the back there. The battles, Miller, Dachelet, Sainz, King, trying to get up into the fight also as our leaders negotiate through turn number 1. And down the hill they go.
Canup absolutely checking out at the front of this field here at this point. King forced a little bit wide. You saw her tipped up into the air there at this point. Vanderveer trying to get their way ahead right now as we keep our eyes on the number 36 truck. That's Plumley. Vanderveer trying to close in behind is the best that they can. There they go side by side, almost 3 wide with Sainz getting involved as well. Sainz may have the preferred line if he chooses to send it. That's exactly what it is. And here is Crystal King in the popcorn position. They're still leaning on each other 3 wide.
And you see how Plumley checked up, went to the inside there. Now looks like Plumley going to have a little squeeze there if they come through. Vanderveer, Miller, King, all within the fight there.
Yeah, Miller getting a big bump there from Vanderveer as they came down through the corner.
Everybody's shedding some weight there, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of pieces flying off these trucks.
Whoa,
He gets into the side of the 77.
Yeah, that would be Mikologic, the 77, and took the brunt of that one for sure. Plumley's now slid back to 11th. Miller up to 9th, and then Plumley going back and forth. King's made her appearance. Canup checking out there. Briley and Barry battling for second.
Trying to be able to keep their way ahead here at this point. Let's see what they've got. Barry's just got to close on in, but he's only got 7 laps to do it here at this point. And Culver's going to be hoping for a battle to fire off in front of him. He's within touching distance behind there as we ride on board Dane's number 51 truck, trying to see if that battle does indeed take place between the 2 Bs. The C is going to be happy to see it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, in real life over the years, they've had a lot of yellow flags with laps to go. They rebunch and they go back up. One thing I love about this in the iRacing, unless it's something major, we just keep running to that checkered flag.
That indeed we do. That indeed we do. Look at all the pieces that are off of Connor Berry's truck here at this point. That thing looks like it's been through the wars. Tickets to go as Canup crosses over the line. Looks like these leaders are calming down for the moment as the rest of the field is as well. Just trying to hold on as much as possible. A little side by side farther back down in the field as there they go. This is Christopher Plumley fighting it out with the number 50.
Yeah, it looks like Sainz and him still going at it there. It's been going on pretty much the whole race as Sainz and Plumley showing worse for wear on the fiberglass there. Love seeing turn number 3, how they all bunch up there and just getting through. It's amazing.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible as they're leaning on each other there. Plumley getting into the side there of Sainz. Let's see if they are able to get their way through. Plumley now down to the inside, going to send it a little bit on deep. Sainz looks for the crossover. He's going to get it. That's Mikologic there behind, hoping that they continue to battle, but it looks like it's Plumley has the line 4 now over Sainz, and here comes Barry on the charge.
Barry making a big run on the outside. Now this is typical of him. He's going to get in the binders, rotate to the inside, but I know Trenton Briley knows that game. He's going to do it again here. He's going to cross over, look to the inside. Briley's going to try and keep it over. It's just not enough room there. Briley's got that thing dialed in.
Yeah, that's a really good defense there from Trenton Briley, just knowing where to park that truck on the apex. And as you said, prevent that sort of favored move by Connor Berry down to the inside. It's really, really heads up.
And there's someone we shouldn't forget about, Dane Culver. He's right up in that mix there.
Yeah, Culver running in 4th place right now. I said a little bit earlier, if these two start to scrap a little bit, and he's going to get into the rear there of Connor Berry, just kind of gets into the back of him there, going to hold that out a little bit. He's going to lose a little bit of ground here as they make the charge down into turn 2. Berry takes a look down to the inside, tries to turn Briley a little bit, but Briley undeterred.
And it looks like he's going to look up the inside. Briley's just tugging that K-rail as they make the turn, the run up the hill. Over the undulations there, pop it off the top there. Now this is where you got to keep this thing right, where you unsettle the truck. You're not seeing a lot of big bouncing coming in these guys.
Yeah, you're not seeing a whole lot there at this point. Let's see. I mean, Knupp, though, loving seeing this fight with 3 laps to go. There's the move down to the inside for Berry, though. And as that was Briley leaving the door open, and Berry didn't need a second opportunity.
Well, he's going to need a second opportunity now as he crosses over to the inside line here. Coming around, a little bump there, trying to force the issue, trying to get a little door-to-door contact. That's always accepted. It's when you turn and change the attitude or position of the vehicle in front of you. So it's okay to touch, just don't screw him up.
Dane Culver, I think, has got somebody in his room there at that point. He was looking behind him there for a brief moment. Hope he can keep his focus here at this point. Headphones back on here at this point. He's now going to keep on going ahead. Connor Berry not able to get it done. 2 to go here for these drivers. And it looks like Culver's got a little bit of a good run, but that's of no concern to your leader, to Knupp, who is just absolutely pixel perfect here as he runs. But look at this, Culver trying to make a challenge on your defending champion.
Yeah, Culver's actually making some great moves looking up the inside there. Berry's went from attack mode to protection mode, and that allowed Briley just to move away. Now it's can he hold on to that final position on the podium. Next time around, the white flag will come out. This will be a sprint to the checkered flag and a dogfight for these 2 drivers.
Yeah, it absolutely will at this point. It's a question of who gets more momentum, but right now Luke Knupp comes across the line, gets the white flag from Barney the Flagman. 1 lap to go here for the iRacing Short Course National Series.
And Knupp is just going to tiptoe this thing through the tulips all the way to the checkered flag as the monkeys fight behind him for the final 2 spots on the box.
Yeah, here he goes. Culver trying to look for that patented Connor Berry crossover maneuver. Oh, gets into the back of Berry pretty heftily there at that point. I think that actually scuppered his momentum, and indeed, he's going to be a little bit far behind here at this point. But here is Luke Knupp as he comes down through the last couple of jumps, sets the car down through turn 4. The blue, black, and white number 5 machine comes out of turn 4, looks towards the flag stand, and will take the checkers here from Wild West Motorsport Park.
Welcome back, Luke. As they finish it up there, oh man, Trenton Briley, Connor Berry, Dane Culver. Woo.
An absolutely fantastic podium there, and as you said, this is a redemption arc for Luke Knupp. He's going to be very happy to be back on the top step of the rostrum. As the rest of the drivers finish here, we are going to head to one more break here on Podium Esports for the iRacing National Short Course Series, but we'll be back with driver interviews and final finishing order after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the iRacing National Short Course Series. We just saw Canup take a commanding victory over Trenton Briley and Connor Berry in the rest of the field. Culver was P4, followed by Dashley, Raffos, Vanderveer, Plumley, Mikolajczyk, and Winecki to round out your top 10 on what was an absolutely fantastic race up and down through this field here, Dave. We saw great battling, really, from first all the way back to 18th.
Well, I mean, if you're going to have the first race of the season, that's the way you want to do it. This was just incredible. Everybody behaved themselves. The racing was fantastic. Definitely some surprises and some shockers. Mason Prater not making a main, and Luke Canup, after a 2-year hiatus, back up on top.
Exactly, and with a perfect transition like that, we're going to go ahead and bring Luke up here into the booth. Luke, could you have asked for a better story to come back here into the iRacing Short Course Series?
No. I mean, that's pretty insane. I was not expecting that at all. I took a few years off of the dirt road stuff and switched over to oval and started making my name there and made Road to Pro last year and just did my best. I mean, I tried, and then, Team Gold offered me a spot back on, and I started putting in the work and put it on pole a week and a half ago and was bummed out for the race to get postponed, but super stoked to, carry the momentum and have a good heat win and, get the win tonight. That's pretty cool.
Well, talk to me a little bit about the race itself. I mean, it looked like, especially after the competition caution, you were kind of in a league of your own. There was no concern, it looked like, from anybody around you. Did you have any hairy moments?
I mean, always, the first lap after the restart's always hairy. But, I have a lot of experience just racing these guys and really just tried to, run smooth and not let the temper get the best of me, just if I get a little contact, it's just part of the sport. So no hairy moments though. Made a cool pass on my teammate Trenton for the lead right after the restart, and I was like, please battle, and they started battling and pulled away. So really stoked for a 1-2 finish with my teammate Trenton. Definitely a good start to the season.
Great start to the season. Crandon up next. Can we see more success there?
I'm not gonna get too hopeful of it. I'll be on an alternate rig. I'll be up in Park, Arizona. I got an IRL race this weekend, so I'm gonna do my best. But not expecting much. But always good to get the season all started right. And just can't thank Angelix Beauty for hopping on board as sponsor, Rigid Industries, Impact Race Gear, all the teammates, Trenton and Joel and Tyler for working so hard on the setup late as well, and then Thad and Justin. Just can't thank those guys enough.
Well, we can't thank you enough for joining us up here in the booth, Luke, and congratulations once again.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, DJ.
Good job, Luke.
All right.
Thank you, Dave.
There you go. Luke Canup, your first place finisher. And now, Dave, I believe you've been able to catch up with P2, Trenton Briley.
Trent Briley, so great to have you back here again this season, but what an epic battle you had all the way to the main event, and this main event battle just actually was in mind-blowing.
Yeah, man. Hey, Dave, always good to hear your voice. Glad to have you back in the booth as always. And yeah, it was a lot of fun out there. First official event for me without the mirrors attached to the truck, and man, does that change things. So I felt the need to protect a lot of those laps out there, and it's probably had a lot to do with me losing the lead, but luckily I lost it to my teammate Luke Canup, and really solid night for the team here.
And talking about the battle you had with Luke, though, I mean, you guys, I'm sure the trucks are set up the same. It just comes down to just little nuances or mistakes.
Exactly, and Luke is a class act. He's a really good driver in these things and kind of everything on the sim, and we're really excited to bring him aboard last season, and it's definitely paid off. We've got a lot of the top guys out here on probably the newest team out in the series, and we're really excited to carry it on throughout the season.
Well, let's talk about the battle between Connor Berry and you. Connor, of course, the defending champion coming into this season. Was that in your head a little bit going, oh, crap, I got the champ right next to me? But not the first time you guys have battled.
Yeah, no, and Connor and I have been doing this together on the sim for 4 or 5 years straight now, and he's earned that championship position, the number 1 plate. And, when you have a guy like him behind you, it's, you're sweating because he's coming, but he's going to get it done clean. So I at least had that in my head the entire time. And, it was really fun racing with him as always.
Are you going to send a gift to Dane Culver for battling it back there with Connor to get him off of you?
You mentioned it, but I saw Dane in the position just behind Connor there. So I knew he was going to be in my favor with putting the pressure on Connor. So as long as he keeps it up for the rest of the season for us and, helps us out with the non-teammates, then he might get a gift at the end of the season.
So coming into Crandon, the big house, what are your plans coming in there? Getting some practice in or any strategies?
Oh, man. Unfortunately for me, this is going to be one of my drop races this Thursday, round 2. And I got a work event. I'll be working out in LA and just won't be able to make it back in time for the sim event. So, well, it's all good. We started the season off with some good points and got the advantage of 2 drop races this season. So I'm still pretty confident for our chances at a run for the title. But we'll have to, hit it on the next round 3.
Well, right on, Trenton. It's always great catching up with you, buddy, and look forward to seeing you at the next event after that then.
Absolutely. Likewise to you, Dave. And just got to give a shout out to all Team Gold Esports. The guys have been putting in a lot of work behind the scenes. And the sponsors that have come on board, thank you guys. For myself, Rigid Industries, Piston Pete's, Butt Kicker, and everyone else that's jumped on board. Thank you guys so much.
Trenton Briley, and I believe DJ's caught up with Connor Berry in 3rd place.
I have indeed. The reigning champion here, able to start a new season off with a podium spot. Connor, how does it feel? Is this a good start to the season, or do you want a little bit more?
Of course. I think our goal was definitely to go out there and win. But I mean, a 3rd is still good. I mean, we started in 8th, and I thought that I would be I would not be in a very good spot. So, I mean, a 3rd's good. I mean, I started 8th and I got the 3rd, so it's good. But we definitely need to keep going. I think our speed is good. I think the only thing that stopped us here was definitely the heat race. I felt like we could have gotten 1st in that, but we got hit and I fell back to 5th, and then we had to come back to a P2, which had me start in 8th. Which is still good, but it's going to be hard when you have all of these guys up front who are like fast, and it showed. So I think our speed's good. We just need to start towards the front, and yeah.
Well, with that in mind, as we look ahead here to Crandon, I mean, what adjustments can you make going into that then? Is it just a matter of getting that qualifying down and spending that time there, or is it maybe getting your elbows out a little bit more during those heat races?
Honestly, I think the goal is just going to be trying to get through the first turn. I think speed is going to be so close, and anyone is going to be fast there. So it's just going to be about that start. So I say our goal is to get a good start and finish I'd say a top 5, since it's only the 2nd one. So the biggest thing is just being consistent here, and we should be good. So I think the goal is just to get that start, and Crandon will be that. And I hope that we get a top 5, or I hope a 1st. So yeah.
Well, fingers crossed to you. I've got to ask you the obligatory question. Are you looking at that 3-peat here at this point, or is it just race by race?
Honestly, I come in with the mind of I don't care about wins. I only care about points. So as much as a 3rd is bad, it's actually good because I'm sitting P3 in points, which is good. So of course our goal is actually to win this race. I mean, to win the championship, because then I will be tied for 1st in that. So I mean, I would say my goal is the points, and if I can go out there and get 1st, that's good. But the main goal is just being consistent. So yeah, I would say our goal is to go back to back.
Well, Connor, we wish you all the luck in the world in that quest, my friend. It was fantastic to watch you drive out there today. Well done, and we'll see you in a couple of days.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
Connor.
That was Connor Berry, your third place finisher here today. Well, you heard us preview it there a little bit more. We head to the big house in just 2 days' time. Crandon International. It doesn't get a whole lot better than being able to run at this circuit, does it, Dave?
Oh no! I mean, I can't tell you. Moving on from here to Crandon, I'm so excited. One of my favorite places in the world. I get to work at every fall Crandon for the Red Bull Cup, and to me, seeing this on iRacing just makes me smile. That's all I can say. Some of the best racing is at Crandon.
Oh, it certainly is. It is an absolutely fantastic circuit. And now as this season, as this championship has laid out, I like what I heard there from Connor Berry, that focus on the big picture, getting the points. And I think that's what we saw dictated. But I think here, Luke Knupp, that seems to me like that may be the battle this whole year long, is the two of them going at it.
Well, I mean, I agree. Luke is up there. I'm expecting Mason to get back up in there, but, you know, I'm going to keep an eye on Dane Culver and, of course, Trenton Briley. They really showed some great driving skills coming out of it. Trenton's always been right there. Dane's made the most leaps and bounds, I think, and he could be one of the, top runners. I think he's going to be in the hunt for the championship if he sticks with it.
I think he is as well. And folks, we don't have that much longer to wait. As we said, only 2 days until we will be back in action at Crandon. We want to thank you all so much for joining us here today. And a big thank you to the organizers at iRacing Short Course Series. And a huge thanks to Dave for joining me here on the booth tonight. Also, big thank you to Ryan and Rachel Bauer at Podium Esports. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast of the iRacing Short Course Regional Series. I'm DJ Clark. We'll see you on the track.